Welcome to Tips Tuesday. I'm Laura Rubenstein here with Tessa Ashford. Hey, Tessa.
Hello.
We have an incredible topic. We've talked about how to make your website worthy. We've talked about how to create headlines that are scroll stopping. And you know what? What you're going to put on your website and why they're going to stop the scroll is because of the content. So how do you create this killer content that they stopped to scroll or they found your website for? That's what we're going to talk about today. And Tessa, where should we start with that?
We always start with our target audience.
That's right. We heard it before. You'll hear it again. And we're not going to ever stop saying that because we are marketers. And the number one rule for marketer and marketing is to make it relevant to your audience. Know your audience intimately, know what they are passionate about, what they care about, what their challenges are, what their solutions they are looking for are. You have to be able to, when we do, what do we call them? Brand personas. We make a persona or an avatar and we describe them. Like, what's the day in a life like for these people? So that we know if they're busy professionals and they're tired and they're dealing with the stress of whatever they are, they're entrepreneurs or they're salespeople. We know that their life and what their insecurities are.
Yep. What keeps them up at night, like literally. Fears, keeps them up at night is what's going to definitely get their attention.
Yeah. What are their fears? Where are they tripping up? What are they concerned about? So when you know all that stuff, then you can go into the next part. And I always like to, before I go into the next part, is map out the services that I want based upon the solutions that I offer that they care about. So if you list out everything that is their challenge, what is your solution to it? Right. And that usually has, you can say, oh, I have a course. Okay, but what does the course give them? What is that benefit? Why should they care? They have this challenge that I'm losing sleep over. So you're going to rest easy. You're going to have peace of mind, because you have, that's the benefit, because you have the course, the feature, and it's going to walk you step by step. But the more important thing is not that feature. It's the benefit. It's what they're really looking for, the peace of mind, the access to more efficiency, the confidence that they're going to gain from it, the health that they're going to gain, the promotion they're going to, be positioned for, the support they're going to have, like all these things that they're feeling, they're thinking, it's making their mind churn, that you're just saying, wow, they're saying as they're reading it, they know me.
You're reading my mind.
How did they know this? This is exactly what I've been wanting for, praying for, whatever, right?
Exactly. I tell people all the time that, the feature benefit trap is that you have a fan with 3 speeds. That's a feature, but you want to be able to control your temperature in the room, make it hotter or colder. That's the benefit. And a lot of people don't, when it comes down to their business, have to keep telling them, we're talking about a fan speed here, guys. We're not talking about a benefit. You need to be able to show why they even care about the 3 speeds.
Right, because they're going to feel cooler. They're not going to have their armpits wet, whatever it is, right?
Or the direction of it, it's not blowing in your face. I mean, there's so many things you can think about it
cool
that way.
without blowing your whole desk apart, whatever it is. Those are the benefits, and you can weave in the features, but the stars of the show are the benefits. Mm-hmm. They won't buy it until they care. They know it's something that they care about. It addresses something they care about, because I didn't know back in the day I needed TiVo, right? I didn't know I needed a TiVo. Really, I really didn't, or DVR,
Right.
But somebody said to me, it's going to change your life. Oh. And I said, really? And I said, tell me why. He said, oh, you're not going to have to sit through commercials.
That's pretty good.
So you're going to get through you're going to have no annoying interruptions, right? So those are the benefits. There's no feature that says no commercial. I mean, there is a feature in there that you can skip. So it has a skip feature. If you say that, great, but people aren't translating that into, it's so annoying to watch commercials. No, skip feature is the feature. benefit is, hey, you're going to have the luxury of watching your programs more efficiently and without any annoyances. And you're going to have them on demand anytime you want to watch, because they're going to be, turn it on and boom, it's just going to be there in a list. So that's the feature, but the benefit is watch anytime from the comfort of your own home, and you don't have to be home. You can still go to your kid's baseball game and see your favorite show.
Exactly. I love it. That's a way better example than mine.
No,
But I think
it's
you
all
mentioned
good. You get my creative juices flowing here, and that's what we do. We like to, after we have all the challenges that they have, and we know our product and services really well, we want to list out the solutions, right? And then we can ideate content, and the content is for promotional purposes, those benefits, but then we can give them the answers to their questions as well.
Yes, I was going to say questions are more about the challenges. What is the challenge? What are the questions? What are they struggling with? And you can find that online.
And hopefully they're coming to you to find the answers. So you have to know what the questions are. Is that what you're leading to?
Yes, exactly. How do we know what questions people are asking
there
for?
There are several ways. Well, what questions are you getting, right? Do you as a brand and you as a regular, when you go out to meet people and they hear you do this wonderful thing, whether you're an insurance broker or you're a doctor or you're a wellness professional or you're a thought leader, you write books on investment, doesn't matter, or money or coaching, whatever. And what are they asking you? Write that down. Okay.
Yep. They're frequently asked questions.
There are other websites you can go to look at what questions are being asked and answered, right?
Exactly.
We always talk about Google. When you type in a topic, Google gives you, and we have that keywords everywhere tool that kind of can give you a hint onto what's going on. But there are some fun, other lesser known, but still widely known resources and sites. What are they?
Yes. Do you want me to go through those or share them?
I can go ahead and share and you can tell us.
Oh, sure. Yeah. We'll let you share your screen. These are really,
where are we going
whichever
first?
one you want to start. Quora, if you want to start with Quora.
Okay. Yeah. What's interesting about, is that how you say it? Quora?
I don't, that's how I've always said it. I don't know. Everyone that's told me about it says it that way, but I'm not sure.
So I'm going to put it on my screen, but I have a login. It's asking me to log in. So let me, actually, let me put it on my other screen, but
I'm already logged in if you want me to do mine.
I just got logged in on another
thing.
So here we have Quora or Quora, however you say
it. Please tell us how you say it.
Yeah. Is it Quora, or Quora? Exactly. I think that's a question we need to ask Quora. How do you say Quora?
How do you pronounce your name? Exactly.
So how do we use Quora for Quora?
Yes. So this wonderful tool, you are actually going to search and ask a question, add a question, or you can search what people are actually searching for currently. So if you search Quora search at the top, and you put your topic.
So let's say leadership.
Mm-hmm. So it's giving you some of the things like leadership in health or, grow leadership. So you can actually just hit enter if you want on this leadership one.
It said ask a question. Okay.
But
just
it's
press
showing
enter. Okay.
Yep. Just put enter. It's asking some of these. This shows some of the commonly asked questions. So you can go through these. You can also set it up to give you notifications as things are being asked. So if there's a specific topic that you want to know about because you want to come answer questions on this platform, that's what the platform, there's a lot of feedback and crowdsourcing information that is on it. So that's how I use it. I use it to actually search for ways to answer people, but you can also see what questions are commonly coming up for your topic area. And you can find authors by specific people that are writing about these topics.
Yeah, I like this. How do I know if I have leadership? And you can see how many people follow them. Like this is a 948. Would that be a good clue to that? Oh, it might be the most important thing you've learned about leadership. That's a lot of people chiming in. But then
There's
there's
1,000 on what makes a good leader. So 1,000 people that are following what makes a good leader. It might be, tips on how to become a good leader or something like that is what the topic is that you're going to pick to write about.
You could even title a blog post, "What Makes a Good Leader?"
Exactly.
What's the difference between a good leader and a great leader?
Yep. And if you can dive deeper into it. Obviously you have to have an account just there, obviously that's how they track people, but I don't think there's any cost to this. I don't remember ever paying for it. I just have my account. I log in. But it is wonderful to go through, and then maybe on that topic you can see what people are asking questions on that topic. They're following it, but if you click on that, then you get to see more information about it, right?
If I go into the 1,000 what makes a good leader.
Yep. So this is going to be like all the people's responses. So you can see kind of like a perspective of what are people talking about on this subject. There's Asana, they were talking about a tool. There's all these different things that might be popping up. You can get a feel for the pulse of your topic, your target audience. Yep. It's not necessarily your exact target audience because you're kind of taking a broad approach here, but it's a fun way to see when you're brand new in the industry, particularly.
Yeah. So, this is ideation. We're in the ideation. It doesn't mean you're married to this, but you will generate ideas. And then we have another site that will help you find out what people are asking. And that is?
Oh, sorry. That one is.
Drum roll, please.
Answer the Public.
Answer the Public. I had just heard about this today from you. I love it. This guy's really handsome. He's like looking right at us and like staring us down and saying, like, do it already.
Do it.
So discover what people are asking about. I typed in the word leadership. Let's see what it does when I actually do it. It says it's going to give me instant raw search insights directly from the minds of customers. There are 3 billion Google searches. So perhaps this is curating Google search of what people are asking about leadership. I've hit my number of limit today. So I'm going to ask you
to
share your screen and see if you can, I got to get a pro account, people.
I totally
understand. I was so excited today to learn about this. It's so fun.
It is super fun. So I'm going to share my screen for you guys.
It isn't cheap. Oh my gosh, it's $99 a month.
Right. So you can do a couple searches. And then I think the big thing.
3 searches.
You were looking at leadership, right?
Yeah, leadership. 3 searches a day and then it cuts you off.
So this is the coolest little output. And this is actually something you can save as an image, which is really interesting when you're trying to brainstorm. So it's like the who, the what, the where, when, and why. And you guys I may be able to zoom in and show you more about this, but it's actually showing all the questions that people are asking, how leadership is changing, how leadership skills can be developed. Like this in itself can be your whole content plan around one word if you are smart about how you, kind of attack these topics.
I heard a guy talk about developing content as formed like a tree. Think about a tree, and this makes me think about it. You have the trunk of the tree, which is leadership, right? Then you have the branches, which would be different types of leadership. And then you have the leaves. And the leaves are what you create your content on. It's those different nuanced questions. And it doesn't have to be really long content. It has to be substantial. It has to give value. But if these are questions people are asking and you put together various articles, blog content, then you can turn it into YouTube videos and you're repurposing your content that is killer. That's the whole idea, is make this killer content. And what does that mean? Its content is so valuable and useful that if you charge for it, people would actually pay, right?
I like that. And we mentioned the 20, frequently asked questions, 10 or so frequently asked questions that you get asked a lot, but think about also what questions are not, what do they not ask you that they should, like that they don't know what they don't know yet. So make sure you think about that, of the things that you would inform people about that is going to actually help them in the big picture. Those are your secrets, your tips, your guides, the things that you can contribute, your expertise that you can offer, but don't give away the whole farm. Okay. Like keep some of it.
You give it out in bite sizes.
Bit by bit.
Not everybody's following every single thing.
Right.
And I just love the idea of being able to think about, I'll even ask people when they say, what questions do you have? I said, what questions should I be asking you?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Oh, I
what that
like
I
that.
haven't yet asked, that, I should know. And I put them back on the spot with that. So if somebody asked you, what are the questions I should be asking you to buy your service, to know about this topic, to resolve my issue, what should I be asking? Because, especially like in healthcare, if it's an area they're not, related, they're not used to, or it's a new leader in a company, it's like, what questions should I be asking about how to become a better leader? It's like, well, how do I manage people is one question, but maybe I should be asking, how should I communicate with my fellow leaders? Where is it okay to ask questions of them? Right? Like there's all kinds of content that can be generated because I should be asking these questions, and or I should know the answers. Should, meaning like if I knew the answer, I'd be that better of a leader.
Mm-hmm.
So, sticking
I
with our
love that.
leadership theme today. Um,
Exactly. I love it. I
yeah,
love it.
yeah. This is really rich. And I know we have, and then there you can be looking when you start to think like a marketer, everything you see out there is like, oh, we could do that, but we could do it for and apply it to in our style, in our way, and to our market the way they like it. So you're going to start seeing things out there as, even if you just pose the question, how can I solve my ideal client and prospects problems? What are their problems? You're going to start to see stuff, especially if you go to sites like BuzzFeed, right? And you see how
Mhm.
they're writing articles and how popular they are. And you can even write series of, don't have to feel like you have to answer everything in one video, one article. It can be a series.
I love the series idea because you can build on the concepts just like we had headlines, but you need the content to have the headlines. So we're building a series, even though each one can stand alone by itself, you're still building up to something bigger. And it also gets people to follow you. You can say, next week, we're going to do this, right? And you're getting people interested and they need more pieces of the puzzle to be filled in, and you're the solution for them.
Yeah. And a lot of times you said don't give away the whole thing, but a lot of times if you give away the whole thing, it doesn't mean they can do it,
True.
especially if
That's a
they're
good point.
hiring you to do it. It's like, here's how to build a pool.
Yeah.
Right? Here's how to
That's
become a
true.
leader.
It doesn't mean that you're going
Like
to
you
be
could say,
able to
here's
do
how to
it.
become a leader. You need to have confidence. You need to have content. You need to have, knowing the rules of the road. Here are some of them, but how do you implement this and impart this to your team? That's a consultative process. You
Right.
can't
Huge value
you
is
can't
important.
consult with them. You can give them information, but there's a difference between being able to have the information and being able to integrate the information. So
Definitely.
depending on what your business really is, if you are the key to helping them integrate, give them as much information as you can to prove to them that they need someone to help them integrate it. Like,
Mhm.
hey, if you're going to paint a house, you need to know, the different paints that are out there. You need to spend time knowing how they dry on the wall. And I mean, over time, you might be able to say, well, this color paint dries this way, but you really have the experience to know you're going to like the way this does because I know you like a shine and I know how this works. And, if you paint it yourself, you're going to get brush strokes, but I have the tools, to, and the experience and,
You
and the
still have your
skills.
secret sauce. So that's you still have something that you're going to be able to offer them, which is maybe you're giving them the what they're going to need to do, but you are going to teach them the how or something
Yeah.
like that in the
And
paid version.
or do it for them, because a lot of
Right.
people, then once they see what's involved, they just don't, they realize, oh my gosh, it's so much better if you do it. And you prove to them in your content that it's better that you do it for them if you have done for you services, or if you're going to step them through in your information product. So
Absolutely.
right,
Because you
you're
can't get time back, right? So that's one of the most valuable assets that people have. Time and money are the two big ones that I hear
yeah.
people
And
talk about all the time.
I'm finding you got to think about your offers. Is your offer
Right.
even worth it? If they can find all this information on the web, um, in an easy, organized fashion, then you may or may not have value in your product. So you may have to take your value up to the next level where you're doing in-person consulting on a group level, with them to answer their questions, to make sense of this. What do they sequence it? So, you got to take your services to the next level because there is so much free content out there. But typically, if people are not, if they're do-it-yourselfers, then they might want to figure it out themselves. But if they're do-it-yourselfers who want to move faster, then they're going to join a group,
Time.
to do it. So you
Yep,
have to
it's so
think about who
precious.
your market is, and don't worry about the do-it-yourselfers. You can sell them an ebook or something that has it all put together, all your blogs in one for $27, right? And they can just download it so it's on their desktop, and that's a monetizable way for them to have what's already out there, but now they have it in a way that's organized.
Right. That's a great conversation for another topic too, is like, how do you organize all this information? What are you going to offer for free? What are you going to turn into an offer or a program or a coaching or a course? And Laura definitely has, she can help you organize all that from your brain into a system. So definitely chat with her if that's where you're kind of stuck on, like, is this free content? Is this something I should be charging for? She can get you past that hump.
And it's kind of, sometimes it's both. It's like free in this bite size, but we're going to put it into, you'll get everything here plus my time and consulting here. So
Exactly.
it's not an either or necessarily. So speaking of organizing, we want you to organize your content ideas. So let's show an example of how they can do that.
Yes. So we have just a content planner. Well, let's say it's an ideation template. So this one, we have topics that are in, say, our business, what we're working with people on, going on these sideways columns, and then the topics like bite-sized pieces. Again, what are the littler pieces that we can break this down into to be able to decide where do we want to put our energy, what's going to be best for us. So if we're over on the social media, we have a lot more social media ones because there's like hashtagging, posting, planning tools, follower growth. Like we could spend probably, I don't know, hours in that one column, but that doesn't, like, that's not necessarily answering everybody's problems. We might touch on something about messaging and your website. That's part of the conversion process. So you can see how we're collecting information and sorting it for us, for ourselves, so that we can make logical little topics and
these
content.
would be the words you would put into the answerthepublic.com, right? Mm-hmm. You put in productivity or mindset even, and you might get some questions that will help you generate ideas for articles. And then what do you do with those?
And then you take those and you turn them into, well, you take it and categorize, I guess, into your shows. If you're doing a weekly show, you're going to sort out
Is that which what you ones have on other tabs here?
I do. Well, we have idea dump, which is like, this is more just before it goes into a category topic. So you maybe just literally or write it on a paper, right? Yeah. You just think of something, you're like, okay, I'm just going to dump all of my ideas in on one sheet and then start figuring out where they go. And then for us, we plan shows on a weekly basis. And this is hard to see because it got it really, really large, but we're talking about a specific key area, which was those sideways columns, the topic, the idea, if it's a standalone or a series, and maybe the date and my title, maybe my hook statement if I wanted to. So you're trying to figure out, how do I plan all this out? I mean, we have more, there's skits, there's trainings, all kinds of things that you can plan off
how it's going to be used. Yeah.
One topic. And then you can say, am I working on this? Does it need to be used? So you can kind of plan, truly build out a show. But we do weekly shows and we bring, we want to have that whole big thing organized for people.
Yeah. And this is just one way. We just want to show you that you can use a spreadsheet like this or your own. We use one with clients for developing blogs, and we help them organize the topics, the dates, who's going to do what, who's the writer, who needs to approve, and then what are the keywords and what part of the buyer's journey. We really didn't talk about the buyer's journey. We should do a whole show on the buyer's journey.
Yes, that's good. Is it front of the funnel? Is it before they've, awareness, front of the funnel, closing sales, nurturing, those types of things? Obviously, that's not in the right order.
Awareness, consideration, decision, and then celebration.
There you go.
Like follow up and nurture them after, to get more referrals, to get more business, to keep them loyal fans, to keep
Yes.
promoting you as well.
I'm
So
gonna write it down on our idea topics.
I think that's a great idea.
I'll put it right in there, so we won't forget that.
That's great. So, once you've got the ideation going, you've planned your content, now you got to schedule it and plan it, write it. Yeah. So hopefully you have somebody who's good at writing and keeping your reader interested, right?
I think you talked about this in our last show, which was about the headlines, that you want, as you're writing your content, you're creating almost all the main points as headings throughout the article. And that's good for SEO. There's so many things you can build into these articles that you're writing too, but I know we don't have it on this list yet. So there's one big one that we need to talk about.
Yes,
so
we
whenever
do.
you're ready.
Yes, we do, because everything leads to you're not just doing this content to be so generous. You want them to do something during, before, during, or after they read this, which is, you got to tell them what it is. It's like a call to action. We call it a call to action, but that could mean sign up for something, buy something, listen to something, engage in another way with you and your brand. Because
Yep,
again,
exactly. Take an action, whatever action.
this is the
whatever
whole
action
nurturing
that
process,
is.
right?
Right. And sign, some of the things that on social media, like you said, it could just be comment, it could be give us your opinion. So engaging, or it could be following you or going out to your website. So you just have to be clear. Everything should be leading back to you in some way, shape, or form. So if we do content like
contest,
this,
come to, sign up for a free webinar, join a retreat, sign up for a summit, buy this referral product, it could be anything like that. But as long as you've given a lot of value, it's fair game to ask them to do something.
And maybe it is like, give us your feedback. Again, there's like the piece that's engagement. There's the piece that's moving them into a new phase of where they're going to actually buy, right?
Right. Conversion. It can be converting to a lead, or converting to a hot prospect, or converting to a buyer. And that's the buyer's journey.
Right. And a fan is possible. So someone who loves what you do but doesn't necessarily buy is still a good person to have as one of the people that's in your audience. And
why not?
Yeah.
Only helps.
So I think that's pretty good. I mean, there's definitely more that we can talk about, how to create content that's aligned with your business and everything. But I know Laura can chat with you if you need to go into that more.
But the bottom line is, when we work with people, we start with a strategy of what your goals are for your content. We just don't create content out of nowhere. What is your goal? To get more clients, to get more, build your list, and or fill a ongoing programs. We work backwards from there with your content strategy. So if you want to learn more about how can you use content for your particular business, and you're serious about hiring a team to help you, go to yescoachlaura.com. Let's talk. Yescoachlaura.com. All right. I think that's a wrap. That was awesome.
Good.
We'll be back again with another Tips Tuesday. Thanks, Tess.
Thanks.
And bye, everyone.